Jacob Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. We are live at 5, and it's brought to you by our friends at Trajan Wealth. Call Trajan Wealth today, your local trusted financial fiduciary. Call 855-TRAJAN-1 or visit their website at TrajanWealth.com. The Walker Kessler trade continues to be big-time news, Ben, and we're going to get the Lakers side of things coming up in just a second. In fact, let's go ahead and get out to the zone phone. Joining us now, he covers the Lakers for the California Post. He's Khobie Price with us here on Jake and Ben. Khobie, thanks for a few minutes. How are you?
Thanks for jumping on.
Oh, no, thanks for having me on. How you guys doing?
We're doing terrific. I guess, how are Laker fans feeling today? Is this what they imagined the team looking like in the first year post-LeBron with Luka steering the car?
I mean, the most optimistic Lakers fans, sure, but this is just what they hope for. I mean, Luka's spoken on it, or not publicly, but, well, yeah, actually publicly. He's spoken on it publicly, the desire to have a top-flight center, a top-flight big man. And, yes, I know, Walker Kessler may not be the most proven big man in the league, but he fits the description of the archetype of center that Luka likes to play alongside. Rim running, finishing at the rim, protecting the rim, deterring the rim, big body. And this has been the Lakers' biggest target for a while. I mean, the Lakers have been looking at Walker Kessler for going on 4 years now. So, yeah, again, even the most optimistic Lakers fan, they could have hoped that this would be the case, but a lot of them didn't even imagine this would be the case.
What's the reaction for what the Lakers had to give up and the overall value of the contract?
I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot, right? I mean, what, 2 unprotected first-round picks, 2 pick swaps, in addition to the $130 million over 4 years. And it's not just that in a vacuum. In the bigger picture, like, those are, that's really it in terms for the Lakers in terms of draft capital. To use in a trade, whether it's to acquire another player or to trade one of your own players to make roster room. At this point for the Lakers, I think all they have left is they can use other pick swaps, or they have a 2033 second-round pick to trade, and that's it. So it's a lot. And I wrote this in a column for the California Post. This was their guy. This was the Lakers' guy, and this was the guy or one of the couple of big men centers that Luka wanted. And this is not just about, getting a player like Walker Kessler, who's obviously, he comes with his own upsides, his own attributes. This is also about making Luka happy, because something that Lakers fans already know and people within the Lakers are well aware of, Luka only has 2 more seasons guaranteed left on his contract before a player option in 2028. So the Lakers are on the clock, and there was a lot of pressure this offseason to take advantage of the salary cap space and take advantage of Rob Pelinka's favorite word, the optionality they had at their disposal.
So do you think this is viewed by the Lakers right now as, I don't want to say a finished product, they haven't played together, but the product that has a chance to win a championship? Do you think that's what they were trying to accomplish yesterday, or do you think they were just trying to take the first step towards that?
I think it's both. I mean, they acknowledge that, being the Lakers, you're always trying to put together championship caliber rosters, even if ultimately you don't accomplish that goal. But this is a step. I mean, one of the other things that the Lakers, as they were transitioning from the LeBron James, Anthony Davis era, then the LeBron James Soul era, and then LeBron James Luka, you fully transition to the Luka era. They need to build a team that complements Luka, and it's hard to do that, or very challenging to do that within just one transaction cycle, right? Like, it can take multiple transaction cycles, and that takes time, but you need to do it piece by piece. You need to be able, and we saw it in Dallas, a trade deadline here, a free agency there, another trade deadline. You add 1 or 2 players who complement Luka, who can be around for the long haul. And Walker Kessler fits into that category. A player who fits alongside Luka, it's a building block. They, this summer you can say that they maybe not added to, but they brought 2 back or added to in Austin Reeves, Walker Kessler, 2 building blocks alongside Luka who can be on the team for the foreseeable future. So it's not a finished product. They know their weaknesses. They know they need more help on the wing. They know that they need a better perimeter defense, more athleticism on the wing. But it is a significant step, maybe the most significant step to having a championship caliber roster, was having a player of Walker Kessler's caliber and ilk alongside Luka and Austin.
What was the reaction to LeBron leaving?
I mean, the same reaction that anything LeBron James related brings about in Los Angeles. Mixed reactions. Some people happy, happy to see him go. 'Cause the reality is that, the Lakers / Los Angeles didn't embrace LeBron in the same way that they've embraced going down the line of Laker legends, Kobe Bryant, Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, even players like James Worthy, Robert Horry, Derek Fisher. Like, because LeBron came or he joined the Lakers at the stage of his career that he was in, he wasn't embracing the same way. However, there's also a sad feeling of, look, this guy, LeBron, he spent more time with the Lakers than he had with any other team consecutively, or consecutive seasons rather. So, like, LeBron, he brought the Lakers back to relevancy after, it's been a while, but the Lakers for a very, significant amount of time, at least by their standards, were irrelevant. He brought them their first championship in 10 years in 2020 when they won the title in the bubble. He helped, he was part of the reason why they were able to trade for Anthony Davis. He, was one of, the leader of the team when they got to Western Conference Finals, multiple playoff appearances. And then obviously all the records that he set or all the accolades he racked up while he was a Laker and countless memories. So there was, again, mixed emotions to the LeBron Lakers tenure ending after, an up and down 8 years.
Looking at some of the other moves that they made, Colin Sexton comes in, somebody we're very familiar with. Mamas Kelishvili's in there. What do you think about this roster overall? I mean, this should be a top 6 playoff team in the Western Conference, I would think.
Could you please repeat his last name one more time? I need to be able to say it myself now that he's on the squad.
I think it's Mamas Kelishvili, but I could be wrong, but that's always what I've heard.
That sounded good to me. He had confidence, right, Khobi? You just got to say, you could say anything. Just say with confidence.
Mamu, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've been calling him Mamu since he entered the league. But, yeah, you're right. You said it with confidence, so I believe that that's the way that it was said. So I'll take note of that. But, no, I mean, what's interesting about their moves, I mean, obviously the Walker deal, like, that's kind of that started their free agency signings, getting Walker in that signing trade with the Jazz. And then after that, you mentioned, I'll call him Mamu since I don't have the confidence to say his name the same way you do. But Mamu, you get Colin Sexton, you add Quentin Grimes. Like, individually, each player, again, we're talking about building around Luka and then also, in mind, Austin and Walker. Like, each player makes sense in their own right? Like, Colin, he adds the shooting, the secondary ball handling, the toughness. Quentin Grimes, he has an off-ball score, he can get downhill. And Colin also adds a playmaking element. Like, and then Mamu just like an all-around, he can score a little bit, can pass a little bit, handle, big man, stretch the floor. Each player in their own right makes sense, but as a collective, a lot of questions about, are those players the caliber of players as a collective for what the Lakers needed? And then also on top of that, the contracts they gave out specifically to Grimes and Mamu, all of, between Walker, Quentin Grimes, and Mamu, these are all 4-year deals with player options at the end of them. So, I mean, significant investments across the board in free agency. Colin Sexton obviously gets a 2-year deal with the player option on the second year, but it's not, it doesn't look like a championship caliber roster, to be honest, right now, but they're not done. They still have 2 roster spots. They still have a little bit of room to, again, add that defensive-minded wing. So they still have opportunities and chances, but it's getting tougher after all the moves they did make.
Khobie Price is with us from the California Post. I'm curious with the new ownership. We saw ownership change here with the Jazz a few years ago, and Ryan Smith kept some faces around, and he changed others. Obviously, he brought in Danny Ainge and then Austin Ainge, but Justin Zanuck, who was here under the previous ownership group, has stayed, and there are other examples within the building. From an outsider perspective, it seems like the Lakers haven't changed much, right? They still have the same GM, the same coach. I'm curious, do you expect more things to change? And I guess maybe this is a long-winded way of asking, does Rob Pelinka maybe feel the pressure of having to improve or impress his new bosses?
Well, I'll just the first part of that. I mean, yes, on face value, right? Like, Rob Pelinka is still the president of basketball operations and general manager. JJ Redick's still the coach. That's been the case for the past couple of years, and for Rob, almost the past we're getting to almost a decade now. But there have been a lot of changes internally within the Lakers. I mean, they've cleared out the business side, including, bringing Lon Rosen from the Dodgers, hiring him as the president of business operations. And really, there were a lot of changes, like an influx of changes on the business side of the operations. They had, significant layoffs at the end of May in a variety of departments. So even on the less forward-facing positions for the Lakers, there were a lot of changes over the past few months, and almost, going back to October when the sale of the franchise to Mark Walter was made official. So there have been changes. There have been considerable changes, and even right now they're redoing the practice facility, and that's the other thing. Like the Dodgers-Lakers connection, the Lakers are taking advantage of that. They're adding new medical labs, testing labs. Like they're revamping their practice facility in light of their G League team moving out to Coachella Valley and having just more space. So, not as many, again, forward-facing changes, but still a lot of changes happening in the background. Now, the Rob Pelinka part, yes, I don't think it's a secret throughout the league. We're just talking about someone in the league about this yesterday. There is pressure on him, and he knows that. Everyone understands that. This summer, this offseason is a crucial one, was a crucial one, and remains a crucial one for Rob Pelinka's job security. Even with him, getting the promotion to president last year, and even with him getting a contract extension, we've seen that Mark Walter, as owner, he'll be patient. But we've also seen that if you don't deliver on the expectations that, a Mark Walter operation has, and that is very similar to what the Lakers operation is, which is compete for championships and win championships and put together championship caliber rosters year in and year out, you're going to be out of a job. So, and we saw that with the Dodgers. Mark, the GM at the Dodgers, was there for a couple of years, but they weren't delivering in the way that was needed, and they hired Dave Roberts. And obviously since then, it's been great for them. So, yes, Rob Pelinka feels that pressure. He knows that pressure, and that's why this offseason was so crucial in a variety of ways.
The Jazz are getting Jackson Hayes to come in as a backup center, I would imagine. I don't think he's starting on this team next year. There are fans that are concerned about it. He has a checkered history with domestic assault and resisting arrest. What was he like to cover as a person?
Yeah, I mean, all of that is accurate. I also like to point out that at least the league never, at least with me specifically, after asking, but never. It was never a public closed case on that in that regard, but in terms of the league's investigation into the matter. But in terms of Jackson, he treated the media well. Doesn't take away from obviously the things that you're saying, but he treated the media well, and he was good to cover.
You going to miss the circus that is covering LeBron?
Excuse me, what did you say?
You're going to miss the circus that is covering LeBron James from just a media side of things.
Yeah, sorry. It is a circus. It is a circus. I mean, part of me will. The circus part of it, there'll be, even if when it's not his fault, drama that surrounds him that's not necessarily his fault. I think back to earlier this year when the whole documented rift between him and Jeannie Buss, or maybe Jeannie Buss toward him. It'd just be a lot of unnecessary drama. But I also will say, I've been covering LeBron I covered LeBron rather for the previous 3 years, and to be able to cover and be around such a legendary player and just learn what it's like to cover a player of that caliber, that's something that's been extremely beneficial for me in my career. So in that regard, I've been lucky to be in this position to do so, and it's going to be weird. I mean, this upcoming season will be the first Lakers team I've covered that doesn't feature, LeBron James, and that's going to be. Just like it is going to be for everybody else, it's going to be a transition for me too.
What's it been like covering Luka, and do you think that will change now that it's not LeBron's team?
I don't know if Luka will so much change, but I mean, more is going to be required from him as a leader. Quite frankly, inside and outside of the locker room. I mean, he's already been the face of the franchise, but because LeBron was there, he didn't have the full weight and responsibility of being the face of the Lakers, if that makes sense. There's a pressure, there's an expectation that comes with that. And on the Luka side, part of that is also winning a championship or championships. So it's going to be interesting, to see how that, how he navigates through that pressure, because obviously he's been a great player, right? Back in Dallas, he was a great player, but it's different in LA. It just simply is. And I'm sure LeBron could attest to that. He could tell Luka about that. The pressure is different when you're trying to win a championship in LA versus, for LeBron, Cleveland and Miami, and then for Luka, Dallas. So that's something that I think will be interesting to document, just how he handles that pressure as being the true sole face of the Lakers.
Well, Khobi, thanks for jumping on with us. You're going to enjoy covering Walker Kessler. He's good with the media, and he's kind of goofy and friendly, and he'll give you a quote. So you'll enjoy covering him.
I'm looking forward to it. I've heard good things about Walker, so I'm looking forward to meeting him. We've actually met before, but he may not remember. But I'm looking forward to talking with him more regularly, and everything that he'll bring to the Lakers.
Well, thanks for jumping on with us, Khobi. We really appreciate it. Great stuff.
Appreciate you having me. Thank you.
There you go. That's Khobie Price. He covers the Lakers for the California Post.
Yep.
I don't know. I've never covered a player that I would consider a circus. Jimmer maybe a little bit, but I wasn't really on the front lines covering in the locker room for that.
Certainly not every night.
No.
And especially on the road. On the road, now maybe a little bit with Jimmer, but you weren't on the road with Jimmer.
No.
But when LeBron comes to town, media members make a big deal out of it. LeBron's in town. Go ask him a question. Go talk to him. Go get him on video. It does translate well. Ask about local players, yada, yada, yada. Some of the old tricks in radio or media, I should say, that people like to do. So losing that is a big deal. And it's probably a positive, honestly, for the reporters. But as I said, LeBron is a little bit of a golden goose for reporters in the past. We talked about Bill Oram, who became the lead columnist up at the Oregonian, and Kyle Goon, who became the lead columnist out at a paper in Baltimore, in his hometown, just because they went to L.A. and covered LeBron. Now, they're also talented writers, but I will pull back the curtain. There's a lot of talented writers. There's a lot of people who can cover sports well.
I think it has more to do with L.A. than it does LeBron, honestly. But LeBron does garner attention. That's the reason why even though we consider his run with the Lakers somewhat of a failure, the Lakers probably made $1 zillion from just having LeBron on their team.
Do you think either Kyle Goon or Bill Oram have LeBron on their resume as far as I covered LeBron and the Lakers?
No. I hope not.
I don't know. Okay, let me ask you this. If you covered the Clippers, would you say I covered the NBA in Los Angeles or I covered the Clippers?
I'd be honest and say I covered the Clippers.
Well, it's not going to help you. You got to lie in that situation, man. But when was the last time you made a resume? It's probably been a while.
It has been a while. And by the way, it should have everything to do with who you work for and your work, not what team you're covering, which is
I would love if that was true.
Is a misconception. It is true.
Is it? You sure?
Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of disagree.
Well, I don't think that the Knicks and the Lakers are a little different because they're big markets. The media hubs in the United States are L.A. and New York. You want to know why writers advance and they want to go there. It has way more to do with the market than the actual team. It has to do with what paper you write for and the exposure you get writing for it.
Sure.
But I don't think, all of a sudden, Oklahoma City isn't a big city. I don't think all of a sudden their writer gets a huge job somewhere else simply because they covered a good team.
Okay, that's fair. You probably have to have both.
I think you can move up through the media business covering an absolute crappy team. What kind of work do you do?
It's easier to get your work noticed because you write in Los Angeles or New York than it is
exactly what I said. But it has nothing to do with the team that you're covering. If you have a job at the LA Times, you're going to have something on your resume that's going to help get you in the door pretty much everywhere in the country. It has nothing to do with covering the Lakers.
Who covers the Clippers?
It doesn't matter.
Who covers the Clippers for ESPN?
I don't know who covers the Lakers.
Yeah, you do.
But that's ESPN. We're talking about local writers. ESPN, you don't put I cover ESPN, cover the Lakers for ESPN. You say I work for ESPN. I cover the league. I cover the NBA. I write for ESPN.
I bet you still put the Lakers, to be honest with you.
I don't think the Lakers have anything to do with it. I really don't.
I kind of think they do. Honestly, I think they do. I think people like to see that. I think people hiring like to see you worked for a big team, you covered big names, you can handle then wherever you go next.
But see, that kind of thinking leads to something that I just hate in media, where people whose job it is to cover something all of a sudden identify with it, like they're somehow a member of the team or a member of that, which I find gross.
I'm with
and
you.
Totally counterproductive. So I actually refuse to believe what you're saying, whether you're right or not, because that's gross. You cover a team, you're not on the team. The team's success or failure has nothing to do or does not reflect anything upon the people who are covering it.
In a
Period.
perfect world, you're
End
right.
of story.
In a vacuum, in a perfect world, you're right. Unfortunately, that's not accurate.
I don't think Bill's advancement through the business has anything to do with the Lakers at all. I think it has something to do with Los Angeles. I'd listen to that argument or the papers he wrote for in Los Angeles, but I don't think it has anything to do with the Lakers. Wendy's success has to do with LeBron, but that's LeBron handpicking somebody to put at ESPN. That's not what happened to Bill.
No, it did not happen to Bill.
All right, but I thought Khobi was really good. So all this success to that guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, he was
I
awesome.
root for everyone to have success, yeah.
Stay tuned. We'll have more next. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Make game day yours. Tickets, food and drinks, stats, and streaming. Everything you need is in the Utah Mammoth app. Download today and make game night easy. Download on both Android and iPhone. Just top.